Shalom, family. This is Wanda. This is Diaspora Connect. So tuning in, I decided to do a video today, and I wanted to do a video in a different way. So yeah, I decided to do a video. Hopefully, you can hear me and see me well. I got my mic on today. I think this is my first or second time using it, but yeah, I decided to do a video um, for you. And let me bring this up. Yeah, so hello, everyone. Greetings. This is Wanda. This is Diaspora Connect. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to my faithful subscribers. I want to say welcome in the room. Thank you to my new subscribers. I want to say you are very welcome. Karibu. Karibu sana. You're very welcome. So I want to say to my Tanzanians, Swahili speaking people, Mambo, Habari, Karibu, welcome in the room. Yes. So I decided to do a video today, and so much has been going on, specifically in America. So I'm over here, as you know, I'm over here in Tanzania. I left America, born and raised in America, and I left in 2020 and repatriated back here to Africa, uh, the continent of Africa, and I'm in Tanzania specifically. So yeah, I decided to go ahead and do a video today, and I wanted to talk about everything that's going on in America, because that is the topic. Like, I'm over here, but I'm kind of watching. I'm seeing all the migrant situation going on. I'm seeing the political, because the election is in November in America, so everybody's campaigning for their candidate. And so, everybody's like, everything is going on over there. And I'm watching from here, and I'm just like, okay, what are we going to do? Because as far as Black people are concerned, neither candidate is really for us, to be honest. They're not, none of them, neither one of them have our best interests at heart. So we're pretty much on our own. It doesn't matter which one gets in there. And for me, I mean, I'm just like, it's no need to vote for me, because, I mean, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. So why get your hopes up all high thinking that this one person is going to change the trajectory of the way the country is going in? So I'm just watching from afar, but I am concerned about my people over there, and I'm concerned about what they're going. I'm concerned to the fact of what, I'm trying to figure out what are they going to do. Like, they should be preparing for the worst, I think, because things are not going to get better, and it doesn't matter which candidate gets in there. A lot of people want to vote for Kamala, the they say the first Black, but she's not considered Black or whatever. Excuse me. She's not technically considered Black or whatever. I think she's like Indian and something else. And anyway, but she looks Black. And they thinking the first Black woman, but female, but she don't consider herself Black because she's like Indian or something. So it's just kind of weird how things are going. And I just wanted to encourage my brothers and sisters. I think I did a video about this already. Just prepare for you and your family. Focus more on you and your family. Yeah. You and your family versus the political stuff that's going on. Because nothing's going to change for you. This migrant situation, um, that's not going to change. They're already over there. They're not going to send them back. Venezuela is not accepting their people back. They released them to America, but they're not accepting them back. So what you gonna do with the people? Nothing. They're gonna stay there. There's not enough jails, and it is, but they're not gonna jail all those people. They're not going to do it. So um, they have weapons, and where they get weapons from? They didn't come in the country with weapons, or did they? So there are a lot of questions surrounding these Venezuelan gangs. Personally, I think that they are mercenaries. I think that they were sent on an assignment. I think that they were paid to do what they're doing, to take over buildings in all the inner cities. Most of the sanctuary inner cities, the Democratic country, the Democratic parties, cities, the countries that the states that are Democrat, they allowed them to come in and have sanctuary cities in those different states in America. So, yeah, they're taking over. They got guns. Yeah, they're on assignment. You got to know that they're on assignment. You can't be that naive to think that these uh, uh, military age migrants from a gang is taking over buildings in America and they were not sent. They have weapons and they're threatening people. Yeah, this was on purpose, you guys. You have to know that your government is wicked, evil, dark, and demonic. So yeah, that's why I left when I did. So, but yeah, that's what's going on. So the only thing you can do, you guys, prepare for mascara is in my eye, but it's like really in my eye. So sorry about that, but all you can is basically for your prepared things for you and your family. Get outside of the cities, and I think I talked about this, outside of the cities. Try to plant your own fruit and vegetables so you don't depend on them to feed you. Yeah, you just gotta try to be as self-sufficient as you can. Try to get solar panels so you'll need electricity. Try to get somewhere where there's water. You know, maybe you can have a borehole, or maybe there's a stream by you, lakes or whatever. But just try to be self-sufficient. But try to do the best that you can to prepare you and your family if you are deciding to stay in America. Many are wanting to leave and leaving. Like, there are a lot who want to stay, and that's their home. They don't want to leave. I get it. No shade on you, no shame on you. But for me, even though that was my home and I was born and raised there, I never felt like I was at home. I never felt at home there. So it was fine for me to leave when I found out the truth about what's going to happen there. This was foretold that the destruction of America was foretold. And so I knew that way back in 2017, 2018. So that's why I left when I did, because I just didn't want to be in a country that had civil unrest and famines and diseases and plagues and earthquakes and natural disasters and all that. And so I know some people look at it like, oh, it's going to be over in Africa too. It's been in Africa. That's the thing. It hasn't been in America. So it's going to be more difficult for the citizens to adjust to the things that's going to happen over there versus in Africa. They've had natural disasters, they've had plagues, they've had hunger, all that. And so they have no electricity. Some places, water issues, electricity issues, whatever. They have learned, they have adjusted to survive. They have learned to survive without those certain things, and they have been able to sustain themselves. And not only that, the land is beautiful and it's still fertile, even through all their issues that they had going on the continent. The earth is still fertile and beautiful. You can still plant food and vegetables, so they can still survive. But see, in America, it's not the same environment to be able to survive off the land. It's a lot of places it's too cold to try to, you know, do some things being outdoors. And here in Africa, they have cold areas, but a lot of the sub-Saharan African um, uh, countries on the continent of Africa, there are different countries. So a lot of the sub-Saharan countries are warm. So you can, even if you have to be outdoors or whatever, you know, it's not, you're not going to freeze to death, basically. So there are a lot of advantages to being over here versus being over in America when you go through these times of trials and tribulations, because America is going to experience trials and tribulations at this point, because it it's the last days. And also the beast system, the 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 head of the system is in America, so the seat of the beast is in America, which will be, you know, dispersed throughout the world, that the controls and all the orders, all that comes from America, and it's going to go to throughout the world to everybody else, to Africa and everywhere else. For example, look at Kenya, what Kenya has going on. The finance bill was from United Nations, it's from America actually, because when they had their elections, you saw, I mean, when they had the bill, when they were talking about in Parliament, the bill being developed or created, there was all these Americans over there. That comes from the B system, which comes from America. So Kenya has to be very careful because that's going to be the seat of where it comes in Africa. Kenya looks like the country that's going to push that B system throughout the continent. Those robots, all that, people look at it like, oh, technology, but technology is what's going to cause the problem. Technology is where the control will come in. All this technology, wanting to put chips in babies when they're born in Kenya. See, it's going to start with Kenya. The B system is going to use Kenya to try to take over the rest of the continent, and it's going to disperse throughout. But you just have to use wisdom and be mindful of what's going on. You can't walk around aimlessly and not have discernment and understand what's going on around you. It's control. They're going to try to control you, control your food, control what you can and cannot do. You're not going to have the freedoms that you're used to. And especially in America, we're used to freedoms, and people are going to fight about freedoms. Like, you already see the migrants, a lot of the citizens are starting to get involved in the migrant situation because a lot of the law enforcement is not doing their job to protect the citizens, which they've been told not to. That's why they're not doing it. They've been told by the government not to. That's why I said the government is wicked. Because fallen angels, they're not human beings. There are fallen angels who run America, who live all amongst Americans. I believe there are more fallen angels. They're not human beings. They're like reptiles, but they have the skin over them. They're like clones. These things are real. They have taken over America, especially the government. So any human beings left, you're going to catch, it's going to be rough for you. Like regular human beings. Yeah, especially my people, the Hebrews, like those are human beings. And so, you have a few that have gotten, you have a few that's, because these reptiles, these fallen angels, they can disguise themselves as anybody. They can look like black people, white people, Chinese, whatever. But majority of the human beings that you have in America are Hebrews. They're of the 12 tribes. So in that aspect, if you want to stay and you want to live there amongst fallen angels, yes, you have them everywhere, but you have a majority of them in America, because America made a deal with the aliens and the fallen ones and the devil. They worship, they're Satanists, they're Luciferians. You got to know that the Masons, all these fraternities, the